I'm Matthew.
I'm Mike.
Welcome back to Keep Liberty Alive.
With the ratification of the Articles of Confederation on February 2nd and going into effect on March 1st, 1781, the free and independent states became the United States of America.
But independence from England, although declared, had not yet been won.
In this episode, we will review the final major battles of the Revolutionary War.
The next major battle of the Revolutionary War was the Battle of Guilford Courthouse in what is now Greensboro, North Carolina, on March 15, 1781.
This was the largest battle of the Revolutionary War in the South.
After losing much of his army on January 18th at the Battle of Cowpens, British General Cornwallis decided he would chase American General Nathanael Greene and his army into North Carolina in order to destroy Greene's army.
The battle lasted about an hour and a half, and ultimately Greene and his army were forced to fall back, but not before inflicting many casualties on the British troops.
While losing the battle, General Greene had accomplished his objective of further weakening Cornwallis's army.
After the battle, instead of remaining in the South where he could shore up British-controlled areas, Cornwallis decided to move to Virginia and meet with other British troops led by Major General William Phillips and American traitor Benedict Arnold.
This allowed General Greene and his army to basically retake all of the southern states that the British had controlled.
This turned out to be a massive tactical error on the part of Cornwallis.
The British under Cornwallis and other English generals, along with German Hessian troops, had occupied and defended Yorktown, Virginia, for some time, and were heavily entrenched there.
George Washington, along with Lafayette and several other American and French generals with their troops, ultimately surrounded Yorktown and bombarded the English army from September 29th through October 19, 1781, in what is known as the Battle of Yorktown or Siege of Yorktown.
The British, after suffering heavy casualties from constant bombardment from American forces, compared to relatively few losses by the American army, realized they could not win this battle.
This proved to be the last battle of the Revolutionary War when Cornwallis and the British surrendered on October 19, 1781, which ultimately resulted in the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1783.
On September 3, 1783, David Hartley and Richard Oswald, representatives of King George III, and Benjamin Franklin, John Jay, Henry Lawrence, and John Adams, representing the United States, officially ended the Revolutionary War by signing the Treaty of Paris after peace negotiations that began in Paris in April 1782.
The Treaty of Paris is a very lengthy document, and we will not read the entire text.
We will highlight the most important aspects of the articles.
In the opening, it is stated that King George III agrees to forget all past misunderstandings and differences with the United States of America and to establish a relationship that will lead to perpetual peace and harmony. This treaty wasn't finalized until a peace treaty had been signed between Great Britain and France.
Article 1. His Britannic Majesty acknowledged the United States, each one individually, to be free, sovereign, and independent states, and he relinquished all claims to government, propriety, and territorial rights to every part thereof.
Article 2. This is a legal description of the boundaries and borders of the United States to avoid any future disputes on territory.
Article 3. An agreement that the people of the United States will be able to continue to fish on the banks of Newfoundland, the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and all other places in the sea where Americans were already fishing.
Article 4 states an agreement between both sides that creditors shall not be impeded in recovering money for previous bona fide debts.
Article 5 states that the U.S. Congress recommend to the state legislatures restitution of all estates, rights, and properties of British subjects who resided in districts in possession of British troops and who did not bear arms against the United States.
Article 6 states no future confiscations or prosecutions against any person for taking part in the war, and that any current prosecutions should be discontinued.
Article 7. There shall be a firm and perpetual peace between His Britannic Majesty and the said states, and between the subjects of the one and the citizens of the other. Wherefore all hostilities, both by sea and land, shall from henceforth cease. All prisoners from both sides were to be set free, and King George III was to withdraw his troops from the United States with all convenient speed, and without taking or damaging any property. The British were also to return to any and all archives, records, deeds, and papers belonging to the states or the citizens.
Article 8. The navigation of the river Mississippi from its source to the ocean shall forever remain free and open to the subjects of Great Britain and the citizens of the United States.
Article 9. In case it should so happen that any place or territory belonging to Great Britain or to the United States should have been conquered by the arms of either from the other before the arrival of the said provisional articles in America, it is agreed that the same shall be restored without difficulty and without requiring any compensation.
Article 10. The solemn ratifications of the present treaty, expedited in due and good form, shall be exchanged between the contracting parties in the space of 6 months, or sooner if possible, to be computed from the day of the signature of the present treaty. In witness whereof, we the undersigned, the ministers plenipotentiary, have in their name and virtue of our full powers, signed with our hands in the present definitive treaty, and caused the seals of our arms to be affixed thereto.
Done at Paris this 3rd day of September, in the year of our Lord, 1783.
David Hartley, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, John Jay.
Freedom had been won.
The independence of the Confederation of the United States had been established, and the American journey toward a more perfect union continued.